if you go to a shop and they put aftermarket parts or will use aftermarket parts on your car, I would think twice. Don't use these parts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Airing of Grievances. My name is Eric Reamer, and that is, as always, Robert Grieve. And, man, we're so glad that you're here today. Thank you for taking time out of your Saturday or whenever you're watching this to check up on what's going on in the Airing of Grievances. And before we go any further, though, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, no time like the present. Go ahead and click on that subscribe button, click the notification bell. That lets YouTube tell you when we produce a new video. You can also know when that happens by every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. here in the Mountain Standard Time. And then, of course, if you find any value in this at all, click the thumbs up. That, again, helps YouTube know that this is content worth sharing. More people see the content, and who knows, maybe people will save money or maybe save lives. You never know.
Could happen.
Yeah.
Could happen.
All right. Hey, Rob, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday to you,
Yep.
my dear friends. I've missed you so much. Thanks for hanging out there.
It's been a busy season.
Yep. Thank you for jumping in, and all the rest of the people, Danny, and so on and so forth. I have been traveling every single week for the last 5-6 weeks, and I'm whooped. So thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate you.
Well, we're glad you're back. And today we're going to talk a little bit about a message that we've talked about and covered in the past on a couple of different occasions. And it has to do with aftermarket parts and the certification, decertification, and in some cases, public safety notices.
Public safety notices.
That are out there. And today we're talking about a public safety notice.
Yep. And this was brought to our attention from Teresa Moss at Repair Driven News. Rock on, Teresa.
She does a great job.
She does do a great job. And this is a very important piece. And, you know, here's the thing about it. Unless she did this, I wouldn't know. Because I maybe have something screwed up in my email because I'm not getting my alerts anymore, but I'm checking into that.
Oh, getting the alerts from CAPA, the
yeah.
certification company or association, I should say.
Yeah, that tells me what parts have, been decertified and so on and so forth. But even that report doesn't highlight
this issue.
The safety, public safety notices.
Yeah,
and a public safety notice is like a recall.
Right.
And it should be a recall.
Except?
It's not a recall.
Right. Yeah, so just so you catch you up here, and you can take a look at our, I'll put in the description box the videos that we talked about, Kappa and their certification process, and more importantly, their decertification process. So you've got Kappa, this association who certifies aftermarket parts, okay? You know that we don't use aftermarket parts.
Right.
But CAPA certifies them to whoever wants to put stock and value in that certification process. And then they decertify parts whenever they find a reason to do so. They send out a little notice and say, now it's up to you.
Yeah.
And anybody who's put those parts on probably will never hear that those parts have been decertified. And then on top of a decertification process, we've got this public service notice, which is
much more severe.
Much more interesting. Yeah, severe is a good word for it.
Yeah, much more severe.
Yep.
So the title is Kappa Issues Safety Notice on Aftermarket Subaru Hood.
Oh, Subarus are popular.
Subarus are very, very popular. Goes on to say a Subaru aftermarket part certified by Kappa has been determined to pose a potential safety hazard according to a public safety notice released earlier this month. Let's see. Kappa states they were told by Intertech the hood part made by, what is that?
I'm going to say Huyi.
Huyi Industries Limited was a safety risk after receiving notification from Intertech.
Intertech is what is Intertech?
Intertech is an arm of Kappa, or Kappa is an arm of Intertech.
I see.
It's one or the other.
Gotcha.
I'm not absolutely sure. But here's what they're saying is concerning about the part. Now, keep in mind, this is a hood.
Yeah, that's a big piece of metal.
It's an important piece. The striker and hinge mounting weldments may not function properly as intended. The safety notice says CAPA identified poor quality spot welds that do not meet CAPA standards.
Wow.
So your hood is basically two pieces of metal put together.
Yep.
And there's spot welds, there's glues, and so, lots of different things that hold those two pieces of metal together.
Yeah.
If you get hit in the front and where it latches into the lock,
That's called the striker.
the striker comes down, latches into the lock.
Yeah.
If that fails, that's not good. The hood could fly up.
Right.
Worse than that is if the welds around where it bolts to the hinges
Yes.
fail, that hood might go through your windshield.
Which might go through your head.
Anything is possible. This is a serious, serious thing. And to the best of my knowledge, unless somebody like myself or Teresa, Repair Driven News, is reporting on this, nobody knows.
No, you'll never hear it because that would require extra effort on the part of the people who did the installation of those parts. And they're too busy installing other aftermarket parts for
Right.
other people.
So let me just get this clear right out of the box. We don't use aftermarket parts here, and will not. If you go to a shop and they put aftermarket parts or will use aftermarket parts on your car, I would think twice. Now, here's something else you need to know. It's in your policy that that's all the insurance company owes under normal circumstances. You can, in many cases, get an OEM Parts Rider, which means, and they're like $60 a year to get that little rider.
Right.
But should you be in an accident, then that policy would put all brand new manufacturer parts on there, not aftermarket parts.
Right.
And that is a worthwhile thing to have. The policy that I have for my vehicles, I don't need the rider because it's in the policy language
Yes.
that they're going to use OEM parts.
And that just underscores the need to know your insurer and know what they actually have in the policy. So get your policy out and read the terms.
Couple things here. If you have a Subaru Ascent, because that's what this hood is,
Yep.
a Subaru Ascent, I saw it someplace.
Little crossover type vehicle.
Yep, and there's lots of them out there.
Yes.
2019 to 2021 Subaru Ascent. If you have one of those and you were in an accident and your estimate or your paperwork from the repairer or the insurer, should check both,
Yep.
indicate that they put an aftermarket hood on your car, you should contact both the body shop and the insurer to see if this is this recall is on your, which is not a recall, this notice, public
Right.
safety notice, is on your vehicle,
Yeah. So
on the part that was installed, because there's many aftermarket part companies.
Right.
This is a specific company, so there may be an aftermarket hood on your car, but it may not be by this company.
Right.
But you need to call your insurer or the insurer that covered it, and you need to also call the body shop to know this is a serious, serious thing. A lot of people put their new drivers in Subarus, and you don't want to take a chance.
No, not at all.
You don't want to take a chance.
Just a quick point of clarification, because you said this is not a recall. Recalls come through the United States government, through the NHTSA, the
Yes, NHTSA.
National Highway Transportation and Safety Administration. And those are they're gonna call you, they're gonna email you, they're gonna mail you, they're gonna do all the things to get your attention.
They're going to track you down.
They're not going to stop until you take care of whatever it is.
Yeah, especially something this serious.
Yeah.
But they're not involved in this because it's an aftermarket part.
No, and because
If it was a manufacturer and an OEM, Subaru,
right,
for instance, or we did a show on a Honda hood.
yes, we did.
That Honda recalled all the vehicles that were affected with a hood problem, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, and the reason that you're probably not going to hear about this is because this is just that public safety notice. It's a formality.
Mm-hmm. So, Repair Driven News did a little recon on where to find Huyi Industrial Company Ltd. And they are located in Taiwan.
Yep.
And no contact information or website was provided for the aftermarket manufacturer.
Imagine.
When we buy our parts, we buy them from the dealership of the vehicle manufacturer for the car.
Yes.
The vehicle manufacturer stands behind that part.
Always.
Because it's one of their parts. When you buy an aftermarket part, good luck.
Right.
Good luck. Because you're not going to probably get a hold of these people in Taiwan, and even if you did, I don't know what they'd say. So she goes on to say, the last Kappa public safety notice for this company, Huyi, was for a bumper, and that was in March of 2019. It said the material used to produce the certified products may not be the same material used when the certification was achieved. In other words,
it's a bait and switch.
They send a part in to be certified. This company or association, CAPA is an association,
right,
stamps it. Yep, good to go, just like the original.
Not,
and gives it a certification.
Right.
But then they ship all sorts of other parts that
are made differently.
They're not made the way the one that was certified was made.
Yeah,
that's what I'm reading right there.
That is a classic bait and switch.
Yeah.
In our estimation, this is only our opinion, but yeah, different.
Yeah. So it says, in instances where the same materials are not used, it may result in product that does not meet CAPA requirements for comparable performance to the car company brand counterpart. Don't use these parts.
We could have saved you a whole bunch of time. In fact,
Yeah.
maybe that'll be the intro to the video.
Yeah.
Don't use these parts.
Don't use these parts. They can hurt you.
Yeah.
And I know that the insurers and everybody says they're just fine, they're the same. CAPA says, boom, it's, what is it? For comparable performance to the car company's brand counterpart.
There is no comparison.
Nah.
No.
Nah. Not that I could find.
And
So,
by definition, it has to be different, right? Because
yeah,
of patents.
otherwise patents would be, we had one down there that was a Subaru hood, had a Kappa sticker, and was made out of steel as opposed to aluminum, which is what comes from the factory.
Well,
Again, hitting that thing, those hinges are meant for an aluminum hood, not a steel hood. A steel hood is much heavier.
yeah,
And it creates danger.
it
and
bends differently.
Yeah, it's just bad stuff. And so, thank you for bringing this article to my attention. And
Well, thanks to Teresa for bringing it to ours,
Yeah.
and subsequently to yours, because this stuff is so important. And Rob, it's this kind of stuff that you think about every single day.
Yep.
It's the kind of stuff that you almost never think about. And if you're not told, ignorance cannot always be bliss.
yeah, especially with some of these safety parts.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't use them
No.
myself.
No, in one of the other videos that we did, we talked about that Honda Striker that
Yep.
wasn't working. And the real situation there was that it could come while you're just driving, could come up and pop that hood up. Now you're blind and or disabled.
Yeah.
So
You never want to have that happen.
yeah,
So anyway, that's what I have for this Saturday.
it's
And,
a good one. It's an important one. Please share this video and let people know that if they've got, especially if they've got a Subaru Ascent from 2019 to present, you got to let them know.
Yep. That's
All right.
what I got for today, folks. Eric,
Happy Saturday.
happy Saturday. My dear friends, happy Saturday. So good to be back with you, and we'll see you next week. God bless.